The Bible's few references to bears are powerfully evocative. With the bear, we meet the fury of wicked rulers, God's jealousy for the purity of his house, and the mighty muscle of the mother. Just as with other animals in the Bible, the bear's meaning has less to do with scientific accuracy and more to do with Hebrew cultural mythology. To God's people, bears were seen as powerful instruments of destruction, enacted through their paws, claws, and teeth. In Daniel's vision of the four great monarchies, the Medo-Persian Empire is represented by a bear, raised up on one side, 3 ribs in its mouth between its teeth. Elsewhere, the Bible depicts bears as growling for justice, lying in wait like a lion in hiding, and charging in rage like a wicked ruler over a helpless people. Like cheetahs, wolves, vultures, and eagles, bears represent the unbridled wrath of wicked rulers. This meaning is made fuller in Revelation 13, where John witnesses a beast who wages war using the power of the wildest of animals, the leopard, the lion, and the bear. The beast's mouth opens in arrogance and blasphemy against the name of God and his tabernacle. But see how the beast's power is tethered, its authority to destroy limited to a symbolic period of 42 months. Truly, God is ruler over the bear's wildness, and bears enact his own holy vengeance. More than this, in the Bible's story of bears, it is the mother bear who carries most of this meaning. In 2 Kings 2, responding to Elisha's curse, 2 she-bears emerge from the forest and tear apart 42 young men who've mocked the prophet's authority. The details in this story deserve our close attention, yet there is no exact science to this highly symbolic imagery. We must be careful here, for this is a moment of huge significance in this part of God's story. Elisha's summoning of the 2 she-bears is the 3rd miracle of his ministry, sealing his calling as a type of Christ, bearer of a double portion of the Spirit. And we must here note the place where Elisha rebukes evil workers, not at Jericho in Canaanite territory, but at Bethel. Truly, judgment begins in the house of God. This is sobering stuff. We learn more by looking ahead to where God again evokes the violent fury of the female bear when robbed of her young, in the words of the prophet Hosea. There, God shows us that the Creator of the universe will not accept his people's divided devotion. Rather, for those who take his blessings, yet become proud and forget their Maker, like a bear robbed of her cubs, God will attack and rip them open. Like a lion, he will devour them. A wild animal will tear them apart. But here is where we must remember that when God makes use of the might of mothers, his love is as fiercely protective as it is holy. In 2 Samuel 17, Absalom's advisor Hushai says of King David, "You know your father and his men. They are fighters, and as fierce as a wild bear robbed of her cubs." This comparison, David as a mother bear, is particularly apt since as a boy, David had defended his flocks against hungry bears. But now, having defeated the bear, the shepherd wields the power of the mother bear in protection of God's people, a sign of his kingship, a sign he is fit for leadership in God's house. In all this, we see God's character towards those whom he calls by name, those he loves, fierce in his safekeeping, yet gentle among us, like a mother caring for her little children. As Elisha twice told the sons of the prophets, like a weaned child with its mother, in God's presence our soul finds calm and quiet. In his holy mountain, the cow and the bear will graze. Their young will lie down together, and the lion will eat straw like the ox.